Yes, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses with the latest afternoon and days Manchester United news and goings on. We're going to discuss all the latest and greatest news that's come out today in regards to this football club. Yes, indeed. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us and waiting patiently for us to get going. Do us a favour at the start of the show. Smash that like button on this video. Share it around on social media. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat. If you want to give us a repost, you can do. We'll give you a shout out later on during the show. Also, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, get yourself subscribing and get yourself involved in the chat throughout. It's a fully interactive channel, so we'll be dipping in and out the chat throughout the show. And also, click the bell icon for notifications. Oh, yes, indeed. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here. Let's see who's in here first of all. We've got Neil Duffin. Get in there, you legend. Are you back from Australia now, Neil? Great to see you. Great to see you. What's happening, Mr. Neil Duffin, you legend? I hope you're keeping well, Mr. Duffin, lad. How are you? Disco Dave became a member, by the way, again at the start of the show. Re-upping his membership there. Let's get some mad love in there. And thank you so much, Disco Dave, for supporting the channel, mate, and becoming a member. You Don, once again, long-time legend. Get some big love in there for Mr. Disco Dave. Heath Edwards, Glory United, Daniel Hutchinson, Nas, Momo, Alex Core, Kingslayer, Mikhail Kramer. Thank you so much as everyone smashed. Thank you very much. Smash the likes, guys, if you haven't done so. Danny, Johnny, Momo, what's happening? Colin, Ralph, good to see you, mate. Yes, lad. Just in time. Johnny, what's going on? Kingslayer, Prod, Mohammed, Danny, and everybody else as well. You know, thank you so much for getting in here. You can repost the link there. It's in the top of the live chat there. Give us a cheeky little repost. Hey, Tad Bakes, thank you very much for the super chat, my son. Get in there, you Don. Let's get some big love in the live chat there for Taddy Bakes, who sent in a super chat. Thank you very much indeed. Get some big love in there, everybody, for Mr. Tad Bakes. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Much love to you, Tad Bakes. How are you today, mate? He says, hello again, Pig. Just finished work. That's not too bad, is it? That's quite nice and early finish, mate, really. That's not shabby, lad. That's not too shabby. I'm just getting going myself. But that's awesome, Tad Bakes. Thanks very much for that. I hope you're having a good day, and hopefully you had a good day at work, my son. Oh, yes. Neil Duffin, great to have you back. It is, lad. I hope you had a wonderful time in Australia, mate, and, you know, dangled yourself into a crocodile's mouth. Wait, what? But you know what I mean. Hopefully not. Hopefully you didn't do that. Anyway, great to have you back there, Neil. Hope you had a wonderful time in Oz, you legend. Right, let's get stuck into the Man United news. We're here to discuss the news. We will do a little bit of a preview as well for the Crystal Palace game tonight. Of course, we are doing a watch-along for that later on the channel as well, starting about 7:30 PM UK time. After this stream, we'll also be popping over to the gaming channel and playing a couple hours of FIFA Action as well. So come and join us for that after. But for now, we better get into the Manchester United goings on. Okay, we'll start off with the sort of the main couple of stories of the day. Let's talk about the first one being Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho has now deactivated his Twitter, my friends. You what? No, not his Twitter, sorry, his Instagram. His Twitter's still active. My bad. He's deactivated his Instagram, guys. It's no longer currently up. You can't go on it. It just says this profile is currently not available right now. He has deactivated his profile. I'm guessing due to the torrent of abuse that he's been receiving from disgruntled Manchester United fans in response to him being an absolute crybaby egomaniac melter. I'm guessing it's something to do with that. Look, obviously everybody's going to have slightly different opinions on this situation. Some people will be sympathetic to Jadon Sancho and feel like maybe being called out publicly by Erik ten Hag was not the right way to handle things. Other people may think that Jadon Sancho being paid 350 grand a week to fanny around and play video games all night long and do fuck all and not really turn up for training on time and not be asked and not put in any good performances for 2 years and not put in any decent hard work in training and not be professional, not get his head down, not work out. Some people think that's not cool either. So I personally am in that camp, really. Okay, maybe you can feel a little bit sympathetic with Jadon Sancho. Perhaps he's struggling with some mental health issues, as we've talked about the last couple of years. You know, Jadon Sancho last year was given 3 months off. 3 months off. 3 months off by Erik ten Hag to go and get himself right. Didn't do so much good, did it? In fact, fat lot of good it did. Because now look at the situation, it seems a lot worse now. Jadon Sancho, maybe that's what happens sometimes when you mollycoddle players. Maybe you should just give him a firm kick up the arse instead. And Jadon Sancho, obviously, he does seem to be having some sort of issues off the pitch. I'm guessing that's the case. You know, we do have to remain, what's the word, I guess, empathetic in that. Because, let's be honest, mental health is a funny old one, isn't it? And, you know, certain people, it's hard to gauge what they're really truly feeling inside. And then other people, it's hard to really gauge whether or not they even are experiencing these issues and they're not just taking the piss. You know what I'm saying? So, look, that whole thing, that whole excuse gets bandied around a lot these days. And you got to be careful with how you talk about it, really, because obviously it could turn out that Jadon Sancho is experiencing some serious mental health issues right now. Or he could just be a lazy bastard. That's the problem. But most people who were, even if they were experiencing these sort of mental issues, they would perhaps still be quite keen to play football for Manchester United, wouldn't they? You would think that might help their mental health. That might help them out in terms of just getting to work, getting your head down, playing football for a great club like Manchester United and scoring some bloody goals, creating some bloody goals. That's going to do a heck of a lot of good for your mental health, if you ask me. Goodness knows, if I had the talent of Jadon Sancho and I had the opportunity out there, I would be relishing that opportunity to try and go out there and play, even if it was daunting, even if there was pressure, even if it was, you know, hard work. It's what you've got to do to get anywhere in life, really. So I think, okay, we could all be sympathetic to Jadon Sancho and say, oh, he might have mental issues and all this sort of stuff, and that's fair. But at the same time, at some point, you've just got to say, we can't have any passengers anymore, we can't have any hangers on. Somebody needs to strap an atomic bomb to the bottom of Erik ten Hag's clog and go to town. You know what I'm saying? Like, Erik ten Hag needs to bring out the old diamond-encrusted clog, if you ask me, for this one. Because there needs to be a firm kick up the arse to Jadon Sancho. I mean, the reality is, this guy, he probably never is even playing for Manchester United again. He's deactivated his Insta because I'm guessing he's getting a heck of a lot of backlash from Manchester United fans. And, you know, he just can't handle it right now. And that's fair enough. The reality is he's probably not going to play for us, guys. I mean, we know that yesterday there was reports coming out that he's been banished from all different Manchester United facilities, including even the canteen, basically. So they've said, hey, listen, Jadon Sancho, you can't eat any more Fray Bentos pies. Leave some for the rest of us. Luke Shaw's been crying himself to sleep at night, knowing he can't get himself on an all-steak Fray Benny. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is the problem that he's facing at United. He's fallen so far down the pecking order, and because of his insubordination and his inability to really squash things with Erik ten Hag, he could have apologised, he could have said sorry, he could have worked very hard. Instead, what he's elected to do is stay at home, funny around, do the bare minimum, play FIFA until bloody 3 AM or whatnot. And it is a bit of a disgrace, to be fair. You can't necessarily have anybody behaving like this at the football club because it sets a bad tone for all the rest of the squad. We have got too many sort of hangers-on who don't try hard enough at Manchester United, and if you let that creep in more and more and more, it's just going to lower the standard of everything at the football club, sadly. That's generally what will happen. So, look, he's obviously been banished from first-team sort of duties, I guess, first-team facilities at United, including the dining room. And, look, obviously there's even a report here that came out today as well, that Ten Hag hosted a barbecue the other day. Ten Hag organised a barbecue for the families of his players and staff at Carrington on Sunday. Ten Hag wanted to recognise the effort put in by the club's staff support network as well as the players, and is said to have made his way around the room chatting with family members. I don't know, was Jadon Sancho there? I don't know. I mean, I doubt it, to be fair. But there's reports that Ten Hag's hosting barbecues and stuff for families. Maybe he was there. Maybe he's hiding in the corner, scoffing down some fucking kebabs or something. Who knows? I don't know. But the point is, Ten Hag is the sort of guy who tries to bring people together. You know, he tries to get that team unity. I don't think he's really trying to single anybody out or scapegoat anybody on purpose. I think what's happened is with Jadon Sancho, he's seen somebody that's not performing or not trying that hard. He's tried to give him a kick up the arse by talking about him publicly. And, you know, it backfired because Jadon Sancho is obviously a sensitive soul and he didn't take it too well and he's gone on social media and talked about it. But he just needs to man up now, doesn't he? Jadon Sancho just needs to man the fuck up and just try and get back into some things with the club. Try and apologise to the fans. Try and apologise to his teammates. Apologise to Ten Hag and the coaching staff for his awful mentality and try and fix himself. That's what he needs to do. There is still, believe it or not, a way back for Jadon Sancho at this football club. Now, it's unlikely that it's going to be anytime soon. He will have to jump through certain hoops, of course, to get there. But there is still possibility for him to be playing for Manchester United again one day if he swallows his pride, leaves his ego at the door, so to speak, and apologises and works hard and gets his head down. Look, what Manchester United will want from every aspect of this situation would be to try and get Jadon Sancho back on track, to give him, you know, opportunities in the future if he's prepared to work hard and apologise. Because what's the alternative? The alternative with Jadon is you just let him sit around in the bloody dumpster pile at United, not playing football, playing for the reserves or whatever, paying him 350k a week, maybe loaning him out in January, maybe selling him to a team like Dortmund or someone like that at some point, you know, even though they probably don't want him, and even though they won't pay him anywhere near what we pay him, so it means we'd have to then go and make up the rest of his wages, and he might make it difficult, and he's on such a cushy number sitting around at United getting paid, it's like, will he even go? Look at Harry Maguire, look at Scott McTominay, look at all these situations recently where we struggle to get rid of these big paid players. I mean, it's a shambles, isn't it? It's an absolute shambles. So you've got to say, hey, thank you for subscribing, by the way, there, Rather. I appreciate you. You've got to say Jadon Sancho needs to man up and apologise. He might be able to find his way back into the side, because the alternative is Manchester United stand to lose out so much money on Jadon Sancho. It's unreal. We probably won't see him ever again because it just sets a bad precedent to try and bring him back into the side. But if he's prepared to apologise, it's not too late, Jadon. It's not too late for Jadon Sancho, I tell you. He could still, maybe one day, be a United player if he just swallows his pride right now and does the right thing. Do you think he will do that, guys? Let's ask the live chat. Do you think Jadon Sancho will swallow his pride and do the right thing and apologise? Yes or no? Glory, Glory United, thank you for the $2 super chat here. I appreciate you, mate. What's going on? Get in there, my son. I appreciate you, dude. Let's be having you. Thank you so much indeed for the super chat there, my friend. Also, we've got another super chat here. Thank you so much. Hey, Gungshi, you legend. What's going on, you Don? Tad Bake says, mental health is real, but I think people can become comfortable within it, and it becomes an excuse. I suffered. I made life changes. Now I am better, says Tad Bakes. Absolutely right, Tad Bakes, right? And at some point, yes, we do have to be very empathetic to everybody that's suffering with mental health. As we've gone over many times, there's been many a successful person that's ended up taking their own lives and things like that. And from the outside looking in, you're not necessarily sure why. It's hard to really know what somebody's going through. But also at the same time, it's like, okay, yes, we need to be sympathetic, but there's a lot of people that are also going through mental health issues who don't have the privilege of being a Manchester United player on so much money and a great opportunity and doing something that they should love to do for a living. There's a lot of people who do things for a living that they don't like, and most people view their jobs as a job. Just that. It's hard work. It's work. It's something you don't necessarily want to do, that you have to do in order to just keep a roof over your head, and a lot of people are living hand to mouth. And on top of that, they've got mental health issues as well. So, you know, at some point also you have to say, man the fuck up. You know, you kind of do. You kind of do. Tad Bakes, thank you so much. I do think you're right. I think it's something that's bandied around a lot these days, and I have sympathy with people who are struggling mentally, but also at the same time some people do use it, I think, perhaps as an easy way out. No, he's a spoiled little brat, says Danny B. Winning to lose out just like Pogba, says Mikhayu. No, says Indy, it's too late. Ravel Morrison vibes, says Thugger. No, says Rufus, he won't and he shouldn't, says Farabi. No, says FCG. It'll always cause problems, says Michael. Unfortunately, no. Exactly, he's gone playing FIFA at 3 a.m. the Mel. I know, Billy, what sort of absolute loser stays up until 3 a.m. playing FIFA, Billy lad? Know what I'm saying? Only complete Jebens would stay up playing EAFC 24 until 3 a.m, guys. You know what I'm saying? You cannot see him apologising, says Metash. Yes, indeed. Emperor says yes, but not yet. Well, he needs to man up and do it soon, doesn't he? But I don't know what this whole situation of him deactivating his Instagram really insinuates. I don't know. Is he really struggling mentally? Is it just a case of, oh, he can't be fucked with the backlash at the moment, so he's just going to deactivate for a little while? Does anybody know if Jadon Sancho's deactivated his Instagram before? Does anybody know that? Because if it's a common theme, maybe it's just one of those things when he's having a bit of a paddy, he sacks it off for a while, perhaps. The Mustard says, pump the like button for the pig. Oh, thank you, the Mustard. Yes, guys, if you're just getting in the stream, we've got nearly 200 legends in here. Make sure you hit that like button on it. Give us a big thumbs up. It's free to like the video. It helps us out on the channel. It helps boost us up there, so make sure you do hit the likes. That would be awesome. And get yourself in there raw. Neil says, swap Sancho for Mudblood from Chelsea. Sonny Griffin, get in there, my son. He says, there's something about American ownership. Thanks for your super chat here. Probably doesn't factor in this instance, but the Glazers have definitely contributed to a toxic culture. Dude, I completely agree with you, bud. I mean, they've contributed to not just a toxic culture, but also player power by the terrible structure of every single contract that's taken place at Manchester United since they've been here. Certainly over the last 10 years. I mean, Fergie wouldn't have stood for it, I don't think, but certainly over the last 10 years, you've seen some very questionable contracts dished out at United, i.e. Phil Jones on 100k a week, Alexis Sanchez on 500 grand a week, totally undermining the rest of the squad, and meaning that there's more player power than ever, meaning that certain players are going to get the hump when they look over and see Bruno Mars impersonator Alexis Sanchez playing like shite, collecting $500,000 a week while they're working hard just to get 100 grand or whatever the case may be. I say just, but you know what I mean. Like it's all relative. These players obviously want parity if they think that they are worth it. For instance, Ander Herrera, we weren't prepared to give him a couple 100,000 a week. He's looking over at bloody Alexis Sanchez going, look at this sharp merchant. Fuck this, I'm out of here. You know, that's the sort of situation that can be caused, and the toxicity that can be caused by just having bad people running your footballing decisions and your financial decisions within the football club. That's what can happen because all of the structures of Manchester United's deals over the years have been pretty preposterous. Giving Slabby Maguire big money contracts, giving Jadon Sancho, before he's even proven himself as a player for Manchester United, just as a young lad, really, giving him the sort of contract that he's given. I mean, look at Marcus Rashford now. Now, I'm not slagging off Marcus Rashford. I still think Marcus Rashford's a great player and he's going to do good things for us. And he's bank board and bread and all that. But you give him a big fat contract and all of a sudden he goes off the boil. It's not good, is it? There's too much of that going on at this football club where the structures of all of the deals at this football club are very questionable. And it means that it undermines certain other positions in the side and that can cause issues in the dressing room. I mean, any time you've got a player like Slabby Maguire on 200k a week, you know something's wrong. And when Phil Jones was here collecting 100 grand a week to do nothing, you know something's seriously wrong. So I think, yes, the Glazers in general, their overall ownership and the way that they've ran this football club has created a fair amount of toxicity and problems in the squad in general, and it has created a fair amount of player power as well. And they're also identifying and signing the wrong types of players quite often. If you look at some of our track record over the last few years of signing certain players, we've signed players maybe for the wrong reason, signed players because they're a big name, because they've got, you know, decent ability to shift shirts or whatever the case may be. Ronaldo, you can argue Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have done fantastically well that season if Ronaldo didn't actually come in. But from a commercial standpoint, I guess it made a lot of sense for that to happen. But realistically, he was older. You know, he upset everything at United, if we're being honest. We were a better team before that. And certain decisions like that. And Sancho, of course. So, yeah, I think there's obviously some bad decisions that have been made from the top down there. Sonny Griffin, thank you for another super chat, my son. He says, FSG definitely wasn't helpful last season, but I think Klopp won them over to his line of thinking. Can Ten Hag do the same with the Glazers, says Sonny Griffin. Right, yeah, fair play. Well, no, I don't think he can. I mean, I think they've basically just given him what they have prepared to give him in the summer transfer window. If they wanted to really go for it, they would have signed, you know, another centre-back. They would have signed perhaps another midfielder, another striker. They would have actually gone the whole hog, but they didn't. So I don't think Ten Hag can really do much about the Glazer shithouses. I think they're the kind of... They're basically satellite owners, aren't they? Which means they're far away and they're just sort of controlling things from afar. I don't think there's really that much inner workings and things like that going on. I don't think there's much communication from the owners and even the board and the coaching staff and things like that, really. It's a long way away from many years ago when owners were much more involved and they're speaking to the managers after every single game and all that kind of thing. It's a long time since it's been like that at Manchester United, and I don't think that is the case. I don't think really Ten Hag can do much with these Glazers here. Realistically, the Glazers just have to go. They've got to go, obviously, and when they've gone, then we can start to move on, and then Ten Hag can start to improve things properly. But I think we'll always see these big issues while they're here. They've just made too many bad decisions. Exactly. I know we play FIFA at 3 AM, but we're not paid 350k a week. Exactly, Billy lad. Precisely, mate. I mean, that's the difference, isn't it? If you're paid to do something and be a professional athlete, you're supposed to keep yourself sharp and fit in every single capacity. It's like I eat, you know, loads of guff. Some of you guys go out on the piss. Some of you, whatever you may do. But you're not a professional athlete. If you're a professional athlete, there's certain expectations and standards that are required for you to meet, for you to be able to do your job properly and to set a good example. And if you're not doing that, yeah, it's not a normal job. You're paid well to do this job as well. Ezio Auditor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Lad says, I believe that feeling depressed is real. I don't believe that mental health is a clinical disease is real. Wow, okay then, Ezio Auditor. Fair play, getting in there raw with some deep stuff. Yeah, no, fair enough. Look, feeling depressed is 100% real. Feeling depressed is 100% real, mate. I mean, we're all going through times in our lives. I mean, I'll just be honest with you guys right now. I'm the most depressed I've ever been in my life. I don't want to make this about, you know, oh, you know, poor me or anything, because everybody's got problems in their life and things they have to overcome. But obviously, you know, the loss of my mother recently and things like that. It's not a nice time in my life. And it's a hard time to be, you know, to carry on. You've got to carry on. You've got to soldier on. Things happen in your life which cause you to be depressed, right? And that's how it is. You know, and you've got to, it's about how you move forward, and ain't nothing gonna hit as hard as life. It ain't about how hard you can hit, but it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning's done. You know what I mean? And if you just stop and let everything get to you, well, then you're not going to get on or do anything, you know? It's you've got to carry on, and you've got to try and get through things. There's always going to be bad spells and times in your life where things happen, where maybe you just got yourself in a slump. Maybe it's not even anything like somebody close to you's passed away or anything. Maybe it's just a case of, oh, I don't know, you've got illnesses, you've got financial worries, whatever the case may be. And things can get on top of you pretty quickly, and they can cause depression. And then there's also the other side of the coin where maybe everything's not even that bad, but you've got a mental inclination to be depressed sort of person. I do think that's also a thing. So I know you said mental health's not a clinical disease, Israel, but I personally think that it probably is, because I think that there's quite a lot of people out there who have seemingly a lot of issues, you know, but they shouldn't have, if you know what I mean. And it's easy to say they shouldn't have because everything seems to be going all right for them, but it's not as simple as that. It's like sometimes I think people do have a mental inclination to feel depressed, or, you know, be a manic depressive or have mental issues. So I think we do have to be empathetic and sympathetic towards people, even if it seems like they've got everything that they should want from the outside, because I do think some people just have almost like a chemical sort of setup in themselves, which they're more inclined to being depressed. So listen, it's hard to really know what people are going through. It's hard to really know unless you've walked in their shoes and seen what they're going through. It's very hard to know. And I personally do think both exist. I think there's depression, which is caused by your environment, which is caused by situations that take place. And then I also think that there's just depression, which is caused by someone's own inclination, no matter what's actually happening in their environment or their situation, that's causing them to think that way. And I think we've got to respect both of them, to be fair. So thank you very much for your comment there, but I don't necessarily agree. But thank you so much for getting in there, lad. Much love. Thank you, Freedom Journey says, well said, Pig. I agree. Thank you so much. And listen, that's how winning's done. Exactly, Don Gungchi. So listen, there's obviously going to be different types of people who are inclined to react to things differently. Exactly, Mustard says, depression is completely normal, and unfortunately it's fucking awful. Exactly, the Mustard. We're all going to go through it. We all go through it, I think, and some people go through it a lot more than others. Some people go through it, I guess, a lot worse than others. Some people go through it for less reasons than others as well, and it doesn't mean that it's any less real. Thank you very much. Yeah, all true, but not for 350k a week. Well, fair enough, but listen, money only gets you so much. In fact, sometimes money can maybe cause you more problems. You know, sometimes money causes you more issues, guys. So, I don't know. That's what people say anyway. I'd love to find out. but that's what people say. Mo money, mo problems. That's what people say. I'd still love to be on 350 grand a week, though. But, you know, who's to say that that doesn't present its own issues with it? I mean, some people out there, like, I remember a few years back, David Beckham, there was some sort of a situation where I think somebody was trying to kidnap his wife or his kid or something crazy just to try and like hold him to ransom. It didn't happen. Didn't happen, but there was some sort of plan that was unraveled where somebody was trying to do that. You know, these people have to spend a lot of money on security. People break into their houses and beat up their family and steal their possessions because they know they've got it. There's a lot of problems that comes with being super rich as well. Let's be honest. It's not all positive stuff. Yes, okay, it's nice to have enough. I mean, and it's nice to have a surplus, but at the same time, like, sometimes it causes a heck of a lot of problems. You know, in a way, it's better to just have just enough rather than too much. You know what I mean? Thank you, Rushmana. He says subscribe to the channel. Yes, indeed, everyone. Please do us a favour and hit that like button on it. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Get yourself involved. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so anyway, we've gone off track a little bit here, but it's one of those. It's a tough topic. I think we kind of have to be a little bit empathetic with Sancho, but at the same time, he does need to kick up the arse. And if he was just to swallow his pride and leave his ego at the door and apologise and do the right thing, I'm sure there is a way back for Jadon Sancho at Manchester United, but I don't see it happen anytime soon, particularly with how sort of stubborn he seems, the fact that he's not prepared, at the moment anyway, to apologise. It's known that all he has to really do is apologise to Ten Hag and his teammates, and he could be allowed back into the setup at Manchester United. Now, he's not going to get into the first team immediately. He's going to have to work hard and show himself as being a hard worker and show himself to have the right mentality. But if he does do that, I don't think Ten Hag's just the type of guy to just chuck him away, particularly when he is an asset at United where we can't really sell him because he's on too much money and he's, you know, we just stand to make a huge, massive loss on getting rid of him, really. So because of that, I think Manchester United will maybe try a little bit with Jadon Sancho, but it's on Jadon Sancho. Nobody knows what can happen with Jadon Sancho apart from Jadon Sancho, really, because it's down to Jadon. Yeah, I guess it's somewhat down to United and Ten Hag, but it's mostly down to Jadon Sancho. If Jadon Sancho is prepared to do what's required to get back into the fold at United, he can do that. But it's down to Jadon Sancho, so we'll find out about that, you know. But, you know, he's been banished from various facilities at Manchester United, it seems. I mean, there's even another report here today that says that Jadon Sancho is not even allowed in the academy dressing room when the players are there. You know, so he's certainly not in a good place at this moment in time with United's coaching and management and that kind of thing. It's just not happening. John O'Shea's been speaking on the matter. Actually, we've got some quotes from John O'Shea, United legend John O'Shea. Get in there, John. He commented and said, ultimately, the manager generally wins, and that's always been the case. If Jadon wants to get back playing football for Manchester United as quickly as possible, look, maybe he might not mean it, but just go and apologise. Then you're back involved in the squad and back involved with a chance to play. I know it's not ideal with how the public, you know, but it's been how the public has been, how public it's been, but it can be resolved very quickly. So, you know, that's how it is, really. I mean, Jadon Sancho, though, I personally think he shouldn't even be apologising unless he means it. But John O'Shea's right in the sense that even if he doesn't really mean it, go and apologise. Go and apologise. Say you're sorry. You know, I feel like Jadon Sancho's acted like a bit of a spoilt kid here, really. Like, how many times when you were a child did you do something wrong and you've got to apologise for it? And you're not going to get out of the teacher's office or, you know, whatever the case may be, or you know, you're not going to get out of that situation unless you apologise. You've got to apologise and say those two words, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, even if you don't necessarily mean it. So I do think it's very silly that he hasn't done that at this moment in time. And because of that, I do have little sympathy in the sense that he could just do that and he could just, you know, work harder and try. And if he does do that, then he could quite easily be getting back into the setup at some point at Manchester United. Yeah, it just shows you the character says superstar. The Monk says Sancho's trash will never apologise. Rashmana says Sancho looking for a move, so why would he change his stance? Obvious to me, sadly. Well, I'll tell you why, because I don't think he's likely to really get a move at this moment unless he changes his sort of position and his mental outlook and tries to work hard and plays. Because at the moment, his saleability is going down and down and down by the day. If I'm a manager of a different football team interested in Jadon Sancho, the player, I am being held back by Jadon Sancho, the personality, in terms of wanting to go and get him, because his ego is clearly massive. He's going to cause problems for whoever he goes and plays for, really, based on what he's done just recently for Ten Hag. He's not a professional player. He's not a hard worker. And, okay, fair enough, there might be a manager out there for a certain club who would take him on if the price was right. But the price isn't right, though. The price isn't right. He's on huge money at United, which nobody's going to really be able to afford. And will United just go and pay him 200k a week to go and play for somebody else? Because I don't see anybody else really paying him more than, say, 150 grand a week. I mean, I'll ask the chat, guys, how much do you think Jadon Sancho would be worth to another team per week right now in wages? Because there are reports that say he's on between 250, 350,000 pounds a week at Manchester United. Now, if that is the case, how can Man United justify letting him go to pay him to play for somebody else, basically, for the remainder of his contract? It doesn't really add up. And so it would almost be better for Manchester United just to let him rot away in the reserves rather than actually go and pay him to play somewhere else. I don't see another team going to sign him for a huge amount of money. We paid 73 million for him. Are we going to get anywhere near that? I don't think we'd even get half of that. In fact, we'd be lucky to get 20 million pounds when you consider the situation and how much money he's on. It's not that he's not a 20 million pound player. He is. He's only 23. He's English homegrown. You know, he's obviously valuable to a degree, but because of his attitude and because of his wages, that means that his saleability is so low compared to what it should be. So I don't even know if he can really get a move. Okay, he might be angling for a move away, and I think that clearly is kind of what he wants right now. But getting a move away is another situation altogether. Perhaps there could be like a Saudi Arabian team that might be prepared to pay that sort of money for him. Perhaps you could do a loan deal where somebody doesn't pay a fee up front and they just cover the entirety of his wages or the majority of his wages. And perhaps that could happen in January. But it's no guarantee based on how expensive he is and how poor of a performer he is. It's not like he's set the world alight the last 2 years. In fact, he's been absolutely gashed, really. And we've always been saying, oh, you know, it's more to come from Jadon. Is he going to be able to do it? And he hasn't done. So it's not really that much of an attractive proposition, if you ask me, for most teams to take him on. Perhaps a Saudi team would take him in Jan. I don't know. But would he want to go there? So because of that, I think you're right. He probably is angling for a move away. But will he get a move away? That's another question, really. It's another difficult question. Okay, let's see what you guys think he's worth weekly. CZ says 120. Nog says 50. 100 says Farabi. 220 says Uncase Wid. 20 says Alex Core. Yeah. 10 says Johnny. 110k says Emperor. 150 says Momo. 1,000 quid says Freedom Journey. 60k says Answer. 75 says John O'Connor. Danny says, going to have to pay a percentage of them wages off and take a huge sale loss. Exactly. So from United's point of view, it's going to be a horrible situation to lose money regardless. So I don't know. I still think what we will try and do is maybe, if he's prepared to apologise, is to try and get it back into the side at some point. But it does look like maybe it's gone too far and we might just have to cut our losses on him. Rushy says, sell him to Newcastle United. Harvey Barnes is out for the rest of the season, says Splashmano. I mean, that would be great. I would love that. I would love that. But would they actually want him? Are Newcastle United prepared to pay money for this ego? Would Eddie Howe want somebody like that? I don't think he would, personally. I don't think he would. But it would be nice if he could. But I don't think he would want him. Sell him to Ajax again. They definitely wouldn't be able to afford him. CZ Bam, thank you very much for your super comment here, bud. He's been a member for 15 months. Can we get a hashtag 15 in the live chat there, please? For CZ Bam. He says, time is flying by. Always got my support, mate. Thank you, CZ Bam. I appreciate my son. Let's get some big love in there, please, for CZ Bam. He's been a member for 15 months, this man. What a raw legend. I appreciate you supporting the channel, mate. 15 months has flown by, hasn't it, CZ? Thank you so much. Get some big love in there for CZ Bam and a hashtag 15. You're appreciated around here, my friend. Thank you very much for being a member, lad. Yes. Prigozhin's actual son says he earns as much as Mo Salah. Salah scored 190 goals for Liverpool in 6 seasons. Insane. That is actually wild, isn't it? That's wild, lad. It's absolutely wild. Okay, thank you for that, guys. Thank you for all your thoughts and opinions on the Sancho saga. I mean, I don't want to focus on it, fixate on it too much because it's an annoying topic, really. We talked about it a lot, but there is still new stuff that's coming out daily. I mean, it does seem like he's facing some issues mentally maybe at the moment, having deactivated his Instagram account, and we kind of have to be empathetic, but at the same time, he does need to kick up the arse. And, you know, who knows really what's going on with Jadon Sancho mentally apart from Jadon Sancho. Thank you, FCG says we got 105 likes on the stream. Thanks, everyone, for hitting that like button on it. Keep hitting the thumbs ups if you haven't done so. Help us get to 200 likes on this afternoon show. That would be amazing. Every little like helps the stream. It helps boost us up on the old YouTube algorithm, which is a cruel mistress. And it's also free and takes a second of your time. So don't be Jadon Sancho-esque in training and being a lazy bastard. And make sure you hit that thumbs up button, guys. And also share us around. You can retweet the link that's pinned to the top of the live chat there. There's a repost link there to the Twitter tweet. Go over there, give us a retweet. We will shout you out a bit later on in the show. Nice one. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Thank you, guys. And also subscribe, of course, if you are new. We're on our way to 76,000 subscribers up there, as you can see. So get yourself subscribing to the channel. Nice one. Yeah, fair play, Dilly Squats. I think it's time to stop all the drama, wait it out, and stop fuel the further divide of the club. There's a lot of drama going on at United at the moment. It is almost like a soap opera, as we've said. Unfortunately, it's the way it is at the minute, you know. You've got a lot of off-the-field issues that are causing problems all over the place. Turn your mic up, says Mr. Decor. Guys, is the volume a bit low today? Let us know if it's okay or low or high or whatever. Give us some feedback. This guy says it's low. Bones Brigade 2020, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Says, why do we praise Keane for sticking up against Fergie, but bash Sancho for defending himself? Sancho wants to stay. Let's not follow rumours, please, says Bones Brigade 2020. Okay, what I would say there, bud, is for a start, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson required his players to perform and behave a certain way. If they didn't actually stand in line while they were playing at the football club, they did get moved on, whether it's David Beckham, whether it's Jaap Stam, whether it's Roy Keane. So let's just be clear and say that, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson may like somebody sticking up for themselves towards him sometimes to a degree. But when it goes too far, when it's impacting the squad, when it's impacting things off the field as well, that's just unnecessary, he came down on them like a ton of bricks. And then secondly, Roy Keane was actually a great player. You know, that's something you have to say as well. You can make certain allowances maybe for certain players. We know that Eric Cantona was notoriously not a fantastic trainer. But guess what? On the pitch, he was fucking amazing. He would do the business for you all day long. And he was fantastic and a catalyst and a leader on the pitch and a leader of men. So, you know, that's the difference here, really. You've got somebody who actually does the business on the pitch and performs. You can always make allowances for something like that. I mean, there's no point even comparing Roy Keane to Jadon Sancho, because Roy Keane was a classy, world-class player, both mentally and in terms of his qualities on the pitch and his tenacity and everything. Jadon Sancho, on the other hand, listen, in comparison, he's a Care Bear. You know what I mean? He's a cuddly toy of a player compared. So it's not even fair, really, to say that, to compare Sancho to Roy Keane. Roy Keane was an animal of a player. He was fantastic. And to be fair to Fergie, he did actually make tough decisions and get rid of certain players when they were getting too big for the boots. Hey, thank you very much, Gungshi, you legend. Come on. It's low, says Duncan. Okay, let me try and turn it up just a wee bit then. Let me see how that goes. Hey, thank you so much there, by the way, Mr. Gungshi. Get some big love in there for Don Gungshi. He's gifted out 5 members on the channel. Thank you very, 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 very much, lad. Big love in the live chat for Don Gungshi. 5 new members courtesy of the Don. Thank you so much, Don Gungshi. I really do appreciate that. You're a bloody hero. Let's get some mad love in the live chat there, everybody, for him. Gungshi, you're a true Don, man. Thank you so much for gifting out 5 members. That's very kind, lad. So let's see this. Who's it gone to? It's gone to Tom Goldsworthy, Heath Edwards, The Mog, Tito Harvey, and also Done and Dusted, all given new memberships on the channel courtesy of the Don Gungshi. Thank you, Gungshi. I appreciate you, my lad. Let's get some mad love in there. Please. Some mad love, please, for Mr. Don Gungshi. You are louder than Micah Richards, Mr. P. Okay, so it sounds all right, does it, volume-wise? I just get a little bit concerned when people say stuff like that. Maybe it's their speakers. You are louder than Micah. Oh, crikey, I sound loud. So it sounds all right, sound bloody loud, mate. Sort your bloody speakers out. I sound bloody loud. Turn that down again, guys. Bloody hell. Anyway, so... yeah, thank you so much for that, Gungshi. That's absolutely quality, lad. I really do appreciate that. What a lad. What an absolute lad. Right, I guess we better move on then to some of the other news. We're going to get onto the Glazers stuff and the Sir Jim Ratcliffe stuff in a minute. But before I do, just a couple of little things. Just a couple of little things to discuss. So, in terms of the squad and that kind of thing. So, obviously, we are playing Crystal Palace tonight. Just a little couple of things that are quite interesting to discuss. So, under 18 players, James Nolan, Lewis Jackson, Ethan Wheatley and Ethan Williams were involved in Monday's Man United first team training session. That's from Chris Wheeler, quite interesting there. It's expected perhaps that Amrabat might be featuring tonight as well. He could be in line for his first start. Smacker 1 in the chat if you think Sofyan Amrabat should be starting in tonight's game. I mean, we don't want to rush him back too soon, but obviously we've got him in to be a big player for us and to you know, be somebody that is a technical player for us. So I do hope we see quite a bit of him tonight. That'd be nice. And see if we can start him in the game would be lovely. Lots of ones coming in the live chat there as well. Yep, nice one. So that's cool. I mean, I've got a little predicted lineup that I'm going to pop up on the screen right now. And to be fair, it's quite hard. Hey, Wonton Doodle, what's going on, you bloody legend? Thank you so much for all the thumbnails and legendary graphics, etc. You're an absolute true Don. Thank you so much to you, my friend. Wonton Doodle, check out his link in the description. Absolute lad of a man he is. He's an absolute lad. So let me just get my lineup on the side of the screen here, guys, of sort of what I think maybe Ten Hag will do. But it's very hard to predict as well, actually, as I say, because we've got quite a few injury issues. We've also got quite a few problems when it comes to like rotation. Obviously, we've got another game against Crystal Palace very soon in a few days' time. So because of that, we might see quite a rotated squad in tonight's League Cup game. It might happen, or it might be a smattering, but I think we're going to see a little bit of rotation on the go. So it's hard to choose the lineup, but this is what I think might happen, because you don't just want to bang out a whole bunch of kids there on the pitch. You want to try and have a bit of a mixture. So we certainly should be giving some opportunities to youngsters in this particular game, but we also do need to have a decent sort of a balance. Like, you don't want to just play all your gash players and second-rate players. Like, instead of Bruno, you could play Eriksen. Instead of Højlund, you could play Martial. But these guys should all be on the bench and come off the bench, essentially, You could play some youngsters in the team. Medjbri could be in there as well. But, the more youngsters you put on, I think the more you're asking for maybe a struggling performance, just because the experience there is not quite there. So this is what I've gone with. Danny says Bruno and Rashford need the night off. Well, I've given Rashford the night off here. I think Ten Hag will give Rashford the night off. I don't think necessarily Bruno will. Bruno's a very robust player, isn't he? He played more games and more minutes than anybody last season in basically any of the top 5 leagues across Europe. The guy's a machine. So I think maybe he'll be in there to influence the game and win the game, and then we'll take him off once the job's done. That's what I'm hoping for. And he might not even start, like we've said. It's hard to actually predict because we've got a lot of games coming, and some of these players that I've put on here may well be taken off reasonably soon, maybe even given a half, depending on how we do. So I've gone with Bayender in goal because we haven't seen anything from him, and he's a keeper coming in here. Onana faced a bit of scrutiny recently. Maybe we'll be given a rest. Reguilon left back's been doing some good stuff for us, no doubt. Don't really have a lot of options in that position, so I think he'll probably be playing. Evans and Lindelof at the back. Maguire's still out injured. Martinez, having somewhat of a knock. He's doubtful with still having a foot concern. We've also, got Varane, who's still doubtful at this moment in time as well. So I've gone with that anyway. It's obviously not a great looking lineup, but Evans had a very good game the other day as well. And obviously, if that means we can have Varane fully fit back and everything for the game at the weekend, or Martinez, that would be great. Dalot on the right kind of picks himself in the minute because Aaron Wan-Bissaka's injured, and again, we don't have a lot of options in those wide areas. In the midfield, I think Ten Hag will go for something experienced and robust in this particular game. Now, I would rather Medjbri, I'd rather some other options in the midfield, because I think Scott McTominay's absolutely shite, and I would not be putting him out there on the pitch. But Ten Hag seems to utilise him a little bit, and I just got a feeling alongside Amrabat, who will think that that's quite a decent combo in terms of physicality. You've got Amrabat to be the pass maestro out of the two of them. Casemiro given the night off, maybe, I think could happen here because it's the League Cup and obviously we need him fit for the weekend. I think Cassie could be given the night off. So I've gone with Amrabat and McTominay in the middle. And then the players at the top of the pitch, I have started Bruno over the likes of Mount or Eriksen because Mount's just coming back from injury. I know he said yesterday on his Insta that he'd be fit, but maybe he'll be coming off the bench is what I'm thinking. So he could well start. But I am just thinking maybe it'll be Bruno Fernandes because he's the Portuguese Magnifico, and if anybody can help get the job done nice and early and then be rested, it would be him. The sides of the pitch, Garnacho on the left, easy pick that one. Rashford's been looking a bit poor lately and needs a rest anyway, if you ask me. So Garnacho comes in on the left, and he's not really featured much, so I'd definitely start Garnacho on the left. And then on the right, Pellistri, don't have a lot of options there with Sancho and Anthony out at this moment in time. So Pellistri on the right. And you could play Tony Martial up top instead of Højlund. It seems like we'd be giving Højlund a little bit too much too soon to do here in terms of playing a lot of games early doors, especially after coming back from an injury. I mean, I'll ask the live chat, guys. Smasher 1 if you would start Højlund in this game tonight. Smasher 2 if you would start, say, Tony Martial. I do kind of think that maybe Ten Hag might start Martial in this one, but how shit will that be? You know what I mean? That's not going to be great, is it? That's asking for trouble. That's asking for trouble, that. because he's gash. But I think he's quite liking the start. But maybe he'll just give Højlund like 45 minutes to try and get the job done in this game, get him some confidence, get him some goals, take him off the pitch, then bring Martial on. Martial says Martial, Tung says Højlund, 2 says Joshua, Martial will start, says Danny. Interesting. 2 says Sarah, Johnny, the Mog, Mickey, and Batman all say Højlund. 2 says Prod. DC's going for Højlund. Rakings is going for Martial and Prigozhin. Raymond says Højlund. So, you know, save him, says Momomino. Okay, I'm not suggesting he's going to play the entirety of the game or anything, but I think to get the job done, maybe get him some goals, it would actually make sense to play him. Plus, Martial's just proven rubbish. 1 and get goals. Exactly 1 time. That's what I'm saying. Martial will stand there and look like he's run a marathon, but he's basically done 0.4 kilometres. Precisely. So, you know, he may well be rested. I could see Martial being played just because there's a lot of games coming thick and fast, and Rasmus has only just come back from injury, and you don't want to give him too many games too soon. But also, in terms of just trying to win this game of football, I do not feel confident with Tony Martial up there. Martial will be hitting the hospital tonight. Yeah, Gore. Well, Gore should be given some chances, mate. I don't really see him getting in the side, but Gore should be given some chances. I'd be happy to play Gore, mate, 100%. I know, but Ten Hag hasn't really utilised him since the season started. He played in pre-season a bit and looked good. But yeah, I don't see it happening too much. Yeah, the Mustard says, get Højlund in, he's a beast. Batman says, Højlund needs games under his belt. There you go. Rasmus could get a hat-trick in this game. That's what I'm talking about, Fan Reactions Football Club. Give him some confidence, lad. Because you know Crystal Palace are likely to play like a bit of a weakened team. We'll see. I mean, they've got a few players out injured. They've got Michael Elise out. They've got Mateus Franca, Jefferson Lerma, James Tonkins out, Nariri Ahamada out as well. And in regards to their starting lineup, I mean, it's not going to be the strongest looking lineup, so maybe we could batter them. Tell you, interestingly enough, we might see Henderson playing against us tonight, though. You know he's going to put in a performance like Gianluigi Buffon crossed with Iker Casillas, crossed with Gordon Banks tonight against us, don't you? You know he's going to be a monster against us tonight. But yeah, Dean Henderson could be in the sticks for Crystal Palace. Probably will be, in fact. So that's interesting. That adds a little interesting element. Hopefully we put 5 past that Melter. You know what I'm saying? But beyond that, you know, you're looking at a lineup of players like Klein, Chewbacca, Klein, Richards, Holding, Mitchell, Riedewald, Hughes, Raksaki, Easy, Schlupp, and Mateta potentially for Crystal Palace. So it's not the strongest looking lineup against us, I don't think, tonight. I think we should be able to batter them, guys. So because of that, yeah, look, get the job done and then maybe make some subs. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Okay, guys, so that's the lineup that I think Ten Hag's going to select. We could easily put Ericsson or Mount or Martial in there or Medjby and some of these players, but because of having an important, you know, it's important to have a mix of experience and youth. I've gone with that. Anyway. So we'll see what Ten Hag does tonight. It's quite hard to predict, as I say, because there are a lot of injuries. It is a League Cup game midweek, and there are games coming thick and fast, so maybe it'll be totally different to this lineup. We'll see. Hey, thank you very much there, Ansar Ahmad, for the bless you there, bro. Klein and Chewbacca at the back. We're bug. Get in there. Klein and Chewbacca at the back. Excellent. Get in there, my son. Jonathan Gallagher, give me a message offline, mate. I don't think Problem Maris has said anything bad, is he? He's all good, mate. Don't worry. He's fine. Everybody's allowed to have different opinions around here. So don't worry about it, Jonathan Gallagher. That's your job as a moderator, mate, is to moderate the live chat, bud. But also, as I say, man the fuck up as well, lad. You know what I mean? Nice one. Okay, it's cool if people have different opinions, mate. That's all good. Jonathan says he's called me a troll pig, mate. Okay, well, don't be one then. Don't be one then, mate. Okay, no, I'm joking. But yeah, please be nice to the moderators, guys. Please be nice to the moderators. So anyway, yeah, it's all good. Everybody can have different opinions. And to be fair, calling somebody a troll ain't the worst thing in the world, is it, mate? You know what I'm saying? Let's get a little bit of perspective here. And plus, you always do take a negative, cynical stance, mate, like you're Roy Keane on steroids or some shit, lad. You know, that's fine. But, you know, I tend to sort of think sometimes, Jonathan, that you go a bit far the other way, mate. Do you know what I mean? Everything's always Ten Hag's gash and this player's shite and this we play like guff. Come on. Let's try and add a little bit of optimism to the mix. You know what I'm saying? Okay, anywho. Let's go. Yeah, both of you need to put your egos aside, right? Anywho, so I'm going to move on here. No, I don't have a new jersey, Licky T, and I will not be buying one until those Glazer shithouses have gone. Okay. Definitely. So, right, let me move on then, guys. So that's the sort of predicted lineup that I think may take place. Let's move on to the Glazer shithouses and the business about the ownership. Actually, wait a second. Before I do, Phil Jones, guys. Phil Jones. This is a post by Phil Jones. Phil No Bones Jones has come out on his IG. And he's obviously getting involved with Manchester United trading-wise and stuff. He says, start of a new journey. Great to begin the global football sport directorship course with the PFA Business School, learning new things about the game whilst also continuing to push ahead with my A licence and badges at the club. And that gave me so much. Excited to get started. Let's get some Phil Jones emojis in the live chat. Nice one, Phil Jones. Do you know what? I might sound a bit harsh here. Phil Jones, you're a twat, mate. He's not. He's a nice bloke and everything, and yeah, fair play to him. But you know what I mean? He's only 31. That's what pisses me off about Phil Jones. He's 31 years of age, and he's already hung up his boots. Why? Why not be playing for the love of the game, lad? Why not be playing for somebody in the Championship or somebody in the lower reaches of the league or somewhere in wherever? He's 31 years old. If I was 31 and I was a professional footballer, I'd still be playing even if it was for Kettering Town. There's no excuses for Phil Jones not to be playing. Okay, he obviously doesn't get the joy out of it anymore. He obviously doesn't want to. I guess he knows that he can't make any good money like he did back in the day. And what's the point? But he could quite easily still be playing football. I personally think, look, the amount of money that he was on at United, that set him up for the rest of his life. Why not just play for the love of the game? There's players out there who are much older than him still playing, and I get it, there's probably a mental aspect to this as well. Maybe his head's gone with football. Maybe there's a lot of abuse that goes Phil Jones's way. But goodness me, he is literally 31 years of age. 31, guys, and he's already hung up his boots and is doing all this sorts of guff in terms of, you know, sports directorships and business school and learning things about the game and all this kind of stuff. What's that all about? I am disappointed with Phil Jones. I think I know, look, he's obviously announced himself. Fair play. You can't really put yourself in these people's shoes. He's obviously been there. But why, oh, why, at 31 years of age, would he not still be playing? His body's broken to bits? Well, I guess so, Thugger. How many players go on, though, as an injured player? He could be going to play for Wrexham or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, why not? Just do it for the love of the game. There's certain players who can still go on, and he's one of them, I think. I don't understand why he's not playing anymore, but there you go. He doesn't have to play for United or a top side, but he could be playing for someone. Maybe doesn't want to demean himself. I don't know. It's a strange one anyway. All I'm saying is I think it's strange. Yeah, Superstar says it's fascinating, to be honest. He's still only 31. He's 31. He was a great player at one point as well. He can't stay fit. Well, okay, but so can not a lot of players, but they still carry on. Crikey, we've got Raphael Varane in our side who's playing at the top level. He can't stay fit either, mate. He's in and out of the team every couple of weeks. Phil Jones, no different, really. You know, Tony Martial can't stay bloody fit, but he's still playing. The Vutinator says we got 133 likes. Guys, keep hitting the like button. Let's get this to 150 likes immediately. Thank you so much. Gungshi says the Gurner is only 31. Feels he's a lot older than that. Yes, indeed. Yes. DC Skyline, thanks for becoming a member of the Bacon Brigade, my son. Let's go. Thank you so much, DC Skyline. Really appreciate that, dude. Come on. Get in there, you beauty. Let's get some mad love in the live chat there for DC Skyline, who's become a member of the Bacon Brigade. Why is my member alert not popping up? Anyway, thank you, DC Skyline. I appreciate you. Get some big love in there for DC Skyline, everyone. Can we get some mad love? Did the member alert pop up there, guys, or not? It should be. But hey, thank you, DC Skyline. I really do appreciate that. You're an absolute lad. Let's get some love in there for DC Skyline, who's become a member of the Bacon and Egg Brigade. Thank you so much there, pal. Get some mad love in the live chat for him. Cheers for that, bud. Thanks for becoming a tier 2 member, bro. Much love, much love. Right, okay. You thought he was 31? Yeah, he's 31, Duncan. Unbelievable, isn't it? Anyway, right, what I'm going to do now is I am just going to move on to the Glazers stuff. Oh, shit, the Bedved, Pavel, Nedved, DC Skyline. Oh, yes, it did pop up. Look, DC Skyline has gifted out 10 memberships on the channel. Get in there, my son. Come on. You what? 10 new members from DC Skyline. That's amazing, bro. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the generosity there, bro. That is amazing. That's absolutely amazing. 10 new members on the channel. Thank you for the raw tip. And thank you very much for giving out 10 memberships to all these legends in the chat who deserve one. And now you've given them one. So thank you so much, DC Skyline. Guys, come on. Mad love in the chat there for him. That's super nice of you. Yeah, Gungshi says, DC Skyline, nice one. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, DC Skyline. What an absolute top, man. I do appreciate you. Seriously, that's amazing. 10 new members on the channel. Get in there, my son. Come on. And it's gone to a whole bunch of legends in the chat. Let's have a look. We've got Jojo, United 90, Devon Nadu, Ed's Music, Onges Gould, Jim McGill, Retro Gamer, Steve Hall, Zayn Miyasi. Zayn Miyasi. Zayn Miyasi is an entity. He's an odd entity, isn't he? Zayn Miyasi, the type of guy to come in here and spunk $9.99 for every stupid comment that he says, and yet doesn't buy his own $1.99 membership. You know what I mean? What is the matter with that guy? But thank you, DC Skylines made Zayn Miyasi a member. Chris Barker as well. Get in there, you legends. Thank you so much. Thank you so much there. So Zayn Miyasi's just been given a membership there too. Quality stuff, mate. Thank you, DC. You're an absolute legend, bud. That's amazing. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, by the way, let's move on to Glazers shithousery and the sale of this football club and all that sort of stuff just for a little bit. Obviously, it's a little bit annoying to talk about, but there is some news. So let's discuss it. So look at this, guys. I don't know if you saw this, but Manchester United's fans over in America flying a banner over the stadium there at... oh, wait, sorry, this is something else. Excuse me, guys. I've got serious man flu at the moment. It is gash. But I'm soldiering on. Right, so, look at this. Look at this. That's the wrong thing, actually. This says that Man United have retained their status as the most popular European club in the... That's the wrong one. This is what I was meant to put up. So, fans in America of Manchester United have flown a banner over the Raymond James Stadium, where the Glazers own Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they played last night. Thank you, FCG. Thank you, everyone. They flew a banner over the stadium saying Glazers out. Let's get a hashtag Glazers out in the live chat, please, guys. Oh. Hashtag Glazers out. And that's good going from the American fans there. You know, you love to see it. Taking it to their doorstep. You know what I'm saying? Good on the American fans here. Flying a banner over above this stadium. Hashtag Glazers out. Raising money. Hashtag snot out. Exactly, fire up. Raising the money and flying a banner above the stadium. Good stuff. That's it. Make it known stateside that the shithouses are not welcome at the football club, you know. So Man United fans from the Pittsburgh and Tampa supporters group organised a banner to fly above the Raymond James Stadium where the Glazers' own Tampa Bay Buccaneers played this evening. Get in there, my son. Hashtag Glazers out. Get these shithouses out of the football club immediately. Just on this then, there is some reports on Sir Jim Ratcliffe and perhaps a restructuring of his bid taking place. So Sir Jim Ratcliffe is interested in buying the football club. We know that obviously it's still going on, this whole sale process. Sheikh Jassim is still a candidate to buy the football club as well, and he wants 100% of the football club. Hashtag full sale only. Hashtag Sir Jim do one. But Sir Jim Ratcliffe apparently interested in restructuring his offer to buy Manchester United. So this is from Bloomberg that say billionaire Jim Ratcliffe is restructuring his offer to buy Manchester United, sources say, in an attempt to break the deadlock in the long-running takeover saga. So maybe he's going to sweeten the deal a little bit, essentially. Restructure things. I don't know necessarily what this really means, like how he's going to restructure things. Perhaps just give a little bit more up front, as we talked about, maybe keeping the Glazers on in some capacity. I think this Sir Ratcliffe is showing himself to be a little bit of a melter in this whole situation. You know, I don't think he's necessarily looking to do things what's best for Manchester United. If that was the case, it would be offering a full purchase of Manchester United like Sheikh Jassim, buying 100% of the football club, really truly investing big time. Instead, it looks like he's basically mortgaging Manchester United and maybe even discussing keeping the Glazers shithouses on in some capacity, which at this stage with the fan base, the way it is in regards to the Glazers, is just plain wrong. So, got to be honest, I think that we don't need this guy in here. He's basically a home bargains owner, isn't he? It's like he's a home bargains owner, and I like shopping at home bargains. Home bargains is good. But what we need is like a Harrods owner. Somebody who's super fucking rich, who's prepared to get the best of the best of the best of the best. Not some Poundland Home Bargains bloody B&M superstore freaking owner, which I think is basically what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is, unfortunately. And if he's prepared to keep the Glazers in some capacity restructuring deals, that's just dirty tactics and we don't want it. So I think maybe to sweeten the deal here, what he's trying to do is, don't know really, but maybe keep the Glazers shithouses on in some capacity. But it does look like he's working behind the scenes, perhaps to try and talk about this and resolve this situation. So here's a report from Business, which says that Jim Ratcliffe is working with his advisors to address concerns about the terms of his bid from minority investors in Manchester United. His previous proposal left little benefit for the likes of Linsell Train, Aerial Investments, LLC and Eminence Capital. So he's trying to sweeten things up and maybe restructure things for some of the minority investors in Manchester United as well. So yeah, this is a big concern for me, guys. Yeah, disgusting offer by Jim, says Orlando. This is a big concern for me, guys. Sir Jim's the English Glazer, says Batman Night Fan. Precisely, that's it. We are getting Glazer vibes from this man, unfortunately. We're getting some serious Glazer vibes. We've got a bit more information coming out here as well, which I want to discuss as well. Thank you, Rushmano, for keeping us up to date with these updates that are coming out throughout the show. So this is via Ben Jacobs, who says that some context on Sir Jim Ratcliffe's restructuring his offer. As Heliard reports, this isn't necessarily a totally fresh or even a higher bid, but sources indicate that Ratcliffe has always been flexible. The only deal breaker is he wants a majority stake and control of the football club. So he wants the majority, he wants 51% of the football club at least. Will we be keeping Glazer shithouses on in some capacity? It's thought that they own around about 69% of the football club. So if he wants the majority stake and owns 51%, I guess a lot of it could be purchasing the club from the owner, from the current owners, the Glazers, and they keep, say, 18%, or he could be purchasing a little bit less from them, I suppose, and purchasing other shares in the football club from other investors who would take his overall majority stake up. So, and the Glazers keep an even bigger portion of the football club. So we don't want that, guys. It would be a disgrace and a nonsense if that happens. Let's get a hashtag Ratcliffe out in the live chat. You know, we don't want this. We don't want this restructuring, keeping Glazers on, or whatever case may be, scrimping and just mortgaging the football club. We want somebody who's prepared to fully invest. Ben Jacobs also says, with Ratcliffe, if any of the Glazers stay, there would be two important parts to talks. The club valuation, or price based on percentage desired, and most likely, certainly from Ratcliffe's perspective, the terms of any laddered exit for those who stay. So, you know, essentially speaking, what this means is, they obviously are trying to get as much per percentage as they can. And if that offer actually suits the Glazers down to the ground, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe buying less of the football club but giving more per percentage, that could be a favoured offer from the Glazers' perspective. And also any laddered exit for those who stay. So at some point, there may well be just the purchase of the football club and the majority stake from Sir Jim Ratcliffe at this moment. And then later on down the line, obviously, you know, staggered purchases taking place to get them out in the long term, if that's favourable from them, so they can stand to make more money in the future if the club value goes up, etc., which they might want to do, and they might want to keep a stake in it for a long time. Hashtag Glazers out, hashtag Sir Jim out. Sorry to say, I just don't really like this idea of this sort of takeover. What we want is somebody to come in and be a sugar daddy and 100% ownership and have real ambition. That's not going to happen, I don't think, with Ratcliffe, unfortunately. So Ben Jacobs also says that Ratcliffe's April preference was to have a put and call clause exercisable in 2026. This either means remaining Glazers can sell at a pre-agreed price, or a price would be calculated based on a set formula, or Ratcliffe could have the option to buy their remaining shares. So that might be favoured by the Glazers, because in a few years' time the club could be worth a lot more, and their percentage that they own could be worth a lot more to them then. So there could be an exercisable clause in the contract, which means that the Glazers sort of have to sell at some certain point. Or there could be no clause like that, but there is the option for them to sell, which means that they could get more money down the line. So those Glazers who want to stay could stay in some capacity right now, and then in a few years' time they stand to make more money because they're getting a big whack right now, but they're also keeping a percentage of the football club for the future, and then are able to sell those shares later on when they're worth more. And this is what they care about, is making money. So I think Sir Jim's being quite dirty with his tactics of buying this football club right now, because he doesn't clearly have enough to buy it outright and give the Glazers exactly what they want as of right now. But what he's offering them is the dangling of a carrot for the future, where they can sell shares for more money in the future and get maybe more per percentage of what Sir Jim's offering right now compared to Sheikh Jassim. So I think it's pretty disgraceful, really, this sort of situation of trying to buy the football club in this way. So Ben Jacobs also says that Ratcliffe has also discussed multiple other options and structures, including simply taking the Glazers' full 69%. He's an experienced negotiator, simply trying to find a way to win, but within his budget. So that's really what it is. He's putting lots of different offers on the table, trying to worm his way in there any which way that he can, but he does not want 100% of the football club. So Ben Jacobs also says that's also why he doesn't want 100%, because he doesn't see the point in paying extra if he can get control and less up front. It's a point of contention with some shareholders. So that's the sort of offer we've got on the table from Sir Jim. It's not what we want. Let's get a hashtag Sir Jim out again in the live chat. Ben Jacobs says those close to Ratcliffe make it clear he's fully aware of any legal repercussions if a deal is agreed with the Glazers, and would not have entered into the process if he felt an agreement would be thwarted by legal challenges. Very clever man, isn't he? Trying to buy the football club in this way. You know, the cheapest way possible to get the Glazer shithouses out, with the idea of potentially taking more of it in the future. He says not a lot has changed. Ratcliffe wants control at all costs, but is flexible on how he gets it. Sheikh Jassim's bid remains all or nothing. He won't entertain a structure that involves the Glazers staying. That's why we want Sheikh Jassim in. Hashtag full sale only. Ben Jacobs does say that another bid from Sheikh Jassim also can't be ruled out. Those close to the sale do concede form and off-the-field drama can negatively influence the price, but sources also point to the Snapdragon and Adidas deals as evidence of how strong the Man United brand is. He says, despite the suggestions that the Glazers think the club is or could be worth $12 billion, aka £10 billion, he's still told that the Glazers, all six, are determined sellers if $7 to $7.5 billion is offered, but the pledged investment excluded. So what might be happening here is that they're basically pushing the price up at the moment, because Sir Jim's trying all these underhanded tactics to try and get the deal in any way that he can to sweeten the deal for the Glazers, maybe dangling carrots to stay and get more money in the future. And it might encourage Sheikh Jassim to up his price overall to purchase the club from a full capacity point of view for 100%. And that's obviously what we want. But is Sheikh Jassim prepared to do that? Is he prepared to go to 6 or 7 billion? In order to buy this football club that's $1 billion in debt and has a lot of problems and isn't actually worth that right now, if we're being honest? Are they prepared to chuck the money at it? That's the thing. So Ben Jacobs says they don't see that as relevant to this process, even though it's obviously vital to Man United's future. He says, as of now, sources indicate that both Ratcliffe and Sheikh Jassim value the football club at around about $6.5 billion, which is, about £5.5 billion, with Ratcliffe slightly, but not dramatically higher. Figures in dollars, because that's the currency of the bidding process, right? So that's basically from Ben Jacobs. Great insight into some stuff with the deal going on there, and it does look like a pretty difficult situation, and it looks like something that's not going to get resolved anytime soon, unfortunately, because of how complex this whole deal is. And it is very frustrating, guys, but just wanted to talk about it and discuss it and say that it does look like maybe Sir Jim's trying to restructure things in order to worm his way into the football club. And only time will tell whether or not Sheikh Jassim would be prepared to up his overall offer for 100% ownership of the football club. And it does remain to be seen what the Glazers want to do. So the Glazers family, some of them want to stay, some of them want to go, it seems. And will they be prepared to stay on in some capacity and take less up front, but maybe more per percentage, and have a stake in the football club still, which could rise over the next coming years, which could be more valuable to them down the road? Or do they just want to cut, shut and run and get what they can get and sell 100% of the football club? Who knows? This is a horrible situation. All I do know is I'm sick and tired of it raging on so long. Hashtag Glazers out, hashtag Sheikh Jassim in, hashtag full sale only. That's where I'm at. I don't want Sir Jim Ratcliffe in, particularly with the news and the reports of how he's trying to buy this football club. It sounds like we're going to be scrimping and saving for years to come under Sir Jim Ratcliffe ownership, if that's the case. Especially if the Glazers shithouses are still in line as well to still have a percentage of this club. That doesn't solve anything, really. It's just Glazers 2.0. So we don't want that. We want hashtag Sheikh Jassim in. Marky Harris, thank you for the super chat, my friend. He says the best thing for the club is relegation. Glazers out. Well, if it encouraged the Glazers to sell up, and if they said, hey, look, now's the time to get $6 billion for the club because we've been relegated, we can't get any more for it right now, you know, then yes, it probably would, mate. It probably would be the best thing for the football club, to be fair, if it encouraged the Glazers shithouses to sell and if they were prepared to go right now and sell 100% of the club. Thank you, Marky Harris. I hope you're keeping well from down under, mate. G Wolf United says Ratcliffe. Rat off a cliff, do one. Yeah, exactly there, Mr. G. Wolfstar. I completely agree. We don't need it, do we? We just don't need it, lad. It's so annoying. So annoying. Absolutely melting over here, guys. So, yeah, anyway, there you go. I'm going to get into the live chat for a couple of minutes. Thanks, Rushmano, for all of the reports there. It's much appreciated. Great stuff. There's the update in regards to Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers, shithouses, etc. Oh, my goodness. What an absolute palaver it is. So frustrating. It is what it is. Right, I'm going to get into live chat for 2 minutes. Smash the likes, guys. Hit the thumbs up button. Share us around on social media. And get yourself in there raw with your thoughts and opinions for a couple of mins. Mark Harris, thank you for another super chat. He says, why the fuck is McTominay in the first team joke? Well, actually, I don't know, mate. This is just my prediction of the lineup, to be fair. He might well not be, but he is getting selected and Ten Hag is playing him. And I don't know why. He's terrible, isn't he? What an average, bang average, gash-tastic player. Let's just hope that Sofian Amrabat coming into the side helps us out. And means that Scott McTominay will be going down to like 5th choice centre-back, because we do have like Amrabat, Casemiro, Mesbury. You know, we've got other options like Gore and stuff like that too. We should certainly not be playing Scott McTominay. Let's get a hashtag McTominay out in there as well. It's not out for tonight, Johnny M, I don't believe. No, it's usually out around about an hour before the game. Thank you, the Mog says, get well soon, Piggy. Thank you very much. Rushy says, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Tommy Boyle says, wants to run the club without the risk of owning it in full. We don't need that type of ownership. Precisely, Tommy Boyle. I completely agree with what you're saying as well. Like, we do not need that sort of level of ownership. We want proper ambition. We want proper investment. And somebody that's buying the football club in this way, they seem a little bit skint. Now, obviously, he's not skint. He's a super rich billionaire. But a lot of people, I think, would be quite happy to see Sheikh Jassim come in, and they wouldn't be so happy to see Sir Jim come in. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Glazers actually take Sir Jim's offer at some point, because if it means they get more per percentage and the ability to earn more in the future, that's all they care about is the money. They don't care about seeing the club right. They don't care about giving the fans what's best. They just care about making the money. So it wouldn't surprise me if we end up getting Sir Jim in, to be honest. It would be a disgrace, but I could see it happening. The club's way overpriced, isn't it, Jonathan Gallagher? 100%. It's massively overpriced, lad. Yeah, exactly. Prod says the Vutinator, Qatar in, Ten Hag in, Glazers out, Rat out. Big respect. 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that as well. Thank you so much for getting in there raw. Right, by the way, I'm just going to shout out everyone who's reposted the stream on Twitter. Thank you, everyone who's reposted the stream. We have got retweets here. There's 12 reposts. Thank you so much to everyone who's done that. Let's shout you all out. Anthony Ong, Guyam Legend. Thank you guys so much for getting in there and reposting the show. Aaron Homeyard, Georgie Ivanov, Stephen Braun, Feline Fur, John Boy Cat, Tap Fuma, Edward McAllister, The Trooper, Tommy Boyle, and Michael Paul. Thank you guys so much for giving us a repost there on Twitter. It does help the stream out. Just going to read a couple more comments out. Then I'm going to have to roll, guys, because we are doing a FIFA stream immediately after this one, which I will put the link in the live chat here, actually. I say FIFA, you know what I mean. FC24 stream now, which I'm going to pop at the top of the live chat. Make sure you come and follow us over there. I'll pin that to the top. That's the link to the FIFA stream, the 6 PM content. We're only going to be on there until about 6:30. And then I'll be on the watch-along later at 7:30, guys, for the Man United Crystal Palace game. Yo, absolutely rancid. Yeah, man flu out. I've got some serious man flu in the last few days, mate. It's disgraceful. I mean, I'm painkillered up to the nines, and it's just I'm just ready, dribbling like Jadon Sancho in a fucking, I don't know, on FIFA, mate, dribbling all over the gash in a gash capacity. Imagine you play against Sancho, says Viper. If I did, I reckon I'd batter him, lad. We need the career mode when you're ready, bro, says Podbo Palmaris. I know, yeah. Sully Griffin says, thanks for streaming, Piggy. Piggy, making work a bit more bearable today. Thank you, Sully Griffin, for supporting the channel. By the way, Sully, I have given the old deets to Mr. Wonton Doodle to add you to the outro and all the new Sausage Soldiers and Pork Platooners and patrons. If you want to support the show on Patreon, you do get in the post-match or the post-video members outro as well. And it's much appreciated. That's the best way to support the show. And everyone who's, you know, a Pork Platoon member like Gung, she's going to be added to it as well. And yourself. So thanks everyone who's supporting the show, be it a tier 3, 4 or a Patreon member, whatever, because you will be added by the end of the week anyway. Thank you guys very much indeed. You're a legend there, Sully Griffin. Thanks for supporting the show. Big time legend. Nice one. If Jassim overpays for the club, it just sets us up for the failure in transfer windows. Everyone will just assume we'll pay anything. Well, maybe not, Warby. I don't know. I mean, with the right ownership and the right people in charge, the right negotiation team, right recruitment team, we shouldn't be doing that, you know? We shouldn't be doing that. So maybe there's a degree of that, but that's always the case at Man United anyway. It's not like now we don't overpay. People know that the Glazers are skint, and we still end up overpaying shitloads. So I don't know about that. I think it's important that United, rather than just spend huge money, I think it's important that we spend the money right and buy the right sorts of players. I mean, look, for every Anthony or Sancho or Pogba or Maguire signing that we've made where we have overpaid a ridiculous amount, there is bargain signers as well. There is players like Amrabat who you can pick up for chump change, really. It's about signing the right players and not overpaying. Thank you, The Mustard. Thank you, Secret Underjob the Gamer. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I will leave it there, actually, guys, because I'm melting, actually. I'm just going to go and full on blow my nose hardcore and then also set myself up for the FIFA stream. So I'll be over there in 5 minutes or so. I did set it up for 4:15, but we're going to be late. So go over to the FIFA channel there, guys. It's called Flying Pig Gaming. Here is the link right there in the live chat. I've pinned it to the top of the chat as well. Go over there, even if you're not into the FC24. Go over there, smash the like. That will help the stream out. Remember, we're back here at 7:30 p.m. tonight with another cheeky little stream. Of course, for the watch-along for the Crystal Palace game. Come on, United! Thank you for watching. Come back afterwards for your thoughts on Sancho, on the Glazers, and Chewbacca. And your thoughts on Chewbacca and the Star Wars franchise. And your thoughts on, of course, the game tonight. Come back with your predictions and score lineups and that kind of stuff. Get in there, you know, team lineups and all that jazz. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Gungshi. Once again, thank you to the legends such as DC Skyline and Gungshi, who gifted out a whole bunch of members during today's show. I do appreciate it all. Thank you so much. And anybody who sent a super chat in, anybody who's become a member like Disco Dave as well, big love. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Come back after, get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we discussed. And you can watch the stream back, Michelle, if you missed anything, and catch up. But if you have watched it, and if you aren't going to come back and comment, come over to the FIFA stream, aka EAFC 24, FC24 stream right here on the gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming. I'll be on in 5 minutes. Thanks, everyone. See you in a bit. That's it from me. There's the news. Come on, United. We're going to drop up Crystal Palace tonight, mate. Let's be having you. Let's smash them like a glass phallus. You what? I take that back. I take that back, guys. I take that back. I really do. I didn't mean to say that. See you on the next one, guys. The Vootinator. Vootinator says we've got 162 likes. Nice one, Vooty. Make sure you hit that like before you go. Subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon for notification and get yourself in there raw. See you on FIFA in 2 minutes' time. And for tonight at 7:30 for the watch-along. Come on, United. See you later. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.